ready, Shanti? Okay. So we've been talking about converting with the metric system, and we are going to work on doing some of these problems. And so let's first go over what these abbreviations mean. So what's CM mean?
Centimeter?
Awesome. I'm glad you remember that from yesterday. What's MM mean?
Millimeter?
Excellent. Do you remember this one? KM? We used that one a lot yesterday.
Kilometer?
Awesome. Now, the ones that you may not recognize, because usually when we're measuring stuff, we don't use them, is DM, which is decimeter, and that'll be 1/10. And then this one, which I know it's funny, but they make it DAM so that you don't get confused. And that's a decameter, which is 100. And so we'll go over those a little bit more carefully. This last one, which is HM, is hectometer. And again, we don't usually use these three very often. So it'll usually be centimeter, millimeter, and kilometer, but for the sake of this lesson, we're going to practice them. So here is an acronym that we're going to use, or a saying. King Henry died, unfortunately, drinking chocolate milk. Will you say that back to me?
King Henry died. Is that word again?
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, drinking chocolate milk.
Fantastic. And so this K stands for kilo, like kilometer. This H is hecto, like hectometer. The D is deca for decameter. This U just says units because this could work for volume also. So if we were doing kilograms.
What's volume?
Volume is like where you measure how much liquid is in something. So if I wanted to say measure how much water was in here, I couldn't do that on a ruler, so I'd have to find a way to measure that. So this could be meter, this could be a gram, and these prefixes would go with those words. So this one might change sometimes. So for this unit, we're going to stick to meter. So that's what the U is. I'll write that in right there. Okay, the D is for deci, like decimeter. The C, centi, like centimeter. And M is for milli, like milliliter. So the reason it's in a line like this is because every time you move, it's going to go down. We're going to break it apart farther. So the K for kilo stands for 1,000. If I had 1,000 meters, I would have a kilometer. If I had 100, I would have a hectometer. If I had 10, I'd have a decameter. This one's just 1 meter. Decimeter means I would have 1/10. If I broke 1 meter into 10 parts, one of those would be 1/10. So I'm going to mark this as 0.1, which remember we did that last unit. 0.1 means 1/10. Centi is going to be 1/100th if I broke that meter down into 100 pieces, and milli will be 1,000. Okay, so as I go this way, the numbers are getting bigger or smaller. Which one?
Smaller.
Smaller, fantastic. If I had to go this way, they would be getting bigger, fabulous. So this will help us do some practice problems. So let me show you how to do a few. This one says, I have 3.9 centimeters, and I need to know how many that would be for millimeters. So I'm going to use my chart. I'm going to go to centimeters, which is right here, and I need to move over to the right to millimeters, right? So like you said, I'm going smaller. So I'm going to move the decimal place 1 down, okay? And it's only 1 because it's right next to this one. So I'm just moving it down 1.
How come if it's bigger going this way, there's more numbers?
because this decimal place shows us that this is smaller than 1. So as I have 0.1, 0.01, 0.0000001, it's more numbers, but it's smaller, 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 smaller than 1 because it's getting even closer, farther from 0. I hope that makes sense. Okay. So I know that all I have to do is move my decimal point 1 to the left or the right. I'm starting here, and I'm going to here. It's getting smaller, so we're actually going to move the decimal place to the left. If that makes sense. We'll keep practicing. Bear with me. Okay. So I have 0.01. I need to make it smaller by going to 0.001. So I'm going to move the decimal that way 1 time. So for here, that looks like...
So will the answer be 39?
It wouldn't. It would be smaller.
Or 0.39.
0.39. There you go. So I had 3.9 centimeters, and now I have 0.39 centimeters. And I can tell that that's right because I know milli is smaller than centi, and my number is smaller here than there. Okay? Let's try this other one. We have 8.6 kilometers, which is as big as this goes, under king. And we're going to hectometers, which is right here next to it. So I've got 8.6. So how many hectometers would I have?
So because you're going to the right, would it be 86? No, I'm going to the left. I thought it was to the right.
I guess this chart is a little confusing because we go to the right, but the decimal moves to the left.
Okay. So when the number is going to be bigger, I go to the left. Move the decimal point to the left.
Yes, that makes sense. Okay, so this one, we had to go this way 1 time, so we moved the decimal over to make it smaller, so it would be 0.86. And I know that's right because this number is bigger than this one, and kilometer is bigger than hectometer. Okay?
So if I would have moved it to the right, that would have made this 86, and that would have been too big.
Exactly. Good job. Okay, let's do this one together. Where are we starting?
The D.
Correct. And there's 2. Remember the funny one that's DAM is this one. Let's put that here. So you're right. This is a decameter. And then I'm going to meter, which is right next to it. So I'm going to move 1 spot over. Okay. So what would it be instead of 90?
Would it be 0.9?
We're only going to move the decimal 1 spot.
So it's 9.
Exactly.
Or 9.0.
Yes. Okay. And we know that's right because decameters are bigger than meters. And we went from 90 to 9. So that is correct. All right. Let's do one more together, and then I'm going to have you do a few on your own. Okay, so now we have 170 what?
Decameters.
Good. And we are going 2 down this time to decimeters. Good job. Okay. So we haven't had one like this before. We're going to actually have to move 2 decimal places because we're skipping from here to here and there to there. So we're starting with 170. If I move the decimal twice, what's my number end up being?
1.70.
Fantastic. And like we've talked about, we don't have to have that 0 there. It's just a placeholder, but it wouldn't be wrong if you had it there. All right. You think you're ready to try a few on your own? let's have you do 5 and 6, and then I'll check them, okay?
Can I use this?
Absolutely. So you went from hecto to kilometer. This one's bigger. So you are going to move to make the number bigger, which actually means moving the decimal point the other way. We haven't had one like that. Perfect. Kilometer or hectometer, which one's bigger?
This one.
Kilometer, good. Is this number bigger than this one? That's how you know it's right. Good job. Correct. That one is bigger. Okay. Is that your final answer?
No. Okay.
Okay. Which one's bigger, millimeter or centimeter? Would you tell me?
Centimeter.
Fabulous.
Mhm.
So this number should be smaller than this one. Is it? 0.3 and 3?
Yeah.
Good. You did it right. All right. You ready to take it back to your desk and do the rest?
Mhm.
All right. Thank you, lady.